Hi, everybody, and welcome to Chelsea Groton Bank's Facebook video. We are talking about a holiday countdown this month. As we're getting ready for the new year, we're going to count you right into the new year with things that you can do to get ready for 2022. So today we're talking about budgeting. You may have a budget, you may not have a budget, but we are going to talk about some quick things today that you can do to get yourself prepared to start fresh in 2022 and get budgeting. So the first thing that you guys can do is pull 3 months of bank statements. So this applies for wherever that you may bank. Pull 3 months of those bank statements, print them out so that you can look at them side by side and so that you can do some highlighting. Then you are going to select 4 different highlighter colors. One you are going to use to highlight everything that has to do with household, your rent payments, your utilities, grocery bills, phone bills, cable, those types of things. Everything that is just a bill that has to do with household is going to be one color. And highlight that across all 3. Don't look at anything else, just highlight those. Then after you've highlighted everything that has to do with household, you're going to choose a different color. You're going to highlight everything that has to do with your automobile. So your automobile payments, if you've got any, gas, insurance, and any types of maintenance that you may have to do for your automobile. You will highlight those in a different color across all 3 of your bank statements. The next thing that you are going to highlight is any liabilities that you might have. So you will choose a 3rd color for that. Liabilities are debts that you might owe. Your mortgage should have been included in household. So it's anything other than a mortgage. Your car payment was included in auto. So credit card bills, medical debt, student loans, whatever it might be, anything that you have to pay on a monthly basis that is a liability, that is a debt that you're paying off, you're going to highlight that in a 3rd color. Everything else on those should be highlighted in a 4th color. Everything that is left should be personal expenses. So you will see a lot of those. So take that 4th color, highlight all of those. So every item should be highlighted. If you have items on there that you are not sure of whether they're personal expenses, let's talk through that. If it is outside of your grocery budget, it is a personal expense. If it is a hair, it is a personal expense. If it's a trip to Dunkin' Donuts, if it's eating out, if it's going to the movies, if it's a trip you took, if it is whatever it might be, it is a personal expense. So all of those things should be that 4th color. So then that is going to help you set up your budget. So you're going to look at those personal expense items and you are going to determine in each category where you're spending your money. So now you're not going to decide if you're spending too much or not enough. You can do that as you're doing your budget. It will be very eye-opening, though, how much you're spending each month in each category. So you can see how much you are spending going for coffees, for example, versus how much you're spending eating out. Sometimes we don't think through how much we're actually spending because we're driving through the drive up and getting a coffee, maybe a breakfast sandwich in the morning, maybe a coffee in the afternoon, maybe a coffee on the way home. We're going out for lunch because we forgot to pack our lunch that day. Kids have sports, so we're grabbing a pizza. We're not really looking at how much we're spending. So all of those things should be pink. You should, all of those expenses that are food type of expenses, add those all up, and that would be your eating out budget. Getting your hair done would be another budget. Any kind of entertainment would be another budget. And you can begin to look and see where you're actually spending your money. Then you can begin to set up your budget. we can provide you with a great budget outline, and we actually have one on our e-learning platform that you can use to base your budget off of and help you categorize some things. I really like to keep mine in categories. So household expenses, automobile expenses, liabilities, because then I can keep things separate. You should definitely have a line item for savings every month. And then you can see where you're spending your money. There aren't too many places where you can cut dollars from your budget. One is groceries, which is under household, because that's a household expense. It's not just one person's, or it's not a liability, but it is definitely something that needs to happen every month. It's not a personal expense. Personal expenses, I would give everything its own line item. So eating out would get its line item. Getting your hair done would get its line item, clothing would get its line item, kids' sports would get its line item, whatever it might be. Those are all personal, and they should have their own line item. Once you start filling it in with the numbers that you're going to pull from those bank statements, you'll be able to see how much you're spending every month in those categories. Then at the top, you're going to add in all of your income. Your income, a partner's income. Do you have any child care expenses? That would be it could be under personal, it might be under household, that's up to you. It probably is a household expense if you have child care, but if you have child support payments, that might be income. So figure out where all that money is coming from and going to. If it's a wash, make sure to put it on there anyway, because it is going to cycle through those statements. You're going to see it. It's coming in and then it's going back out. So make sure you're putting it in your budget, even if you know it's a wash. So for example, if you get a reimbursement check for a phone from your company, for example, and then that covers your phone bill, make sure to put the reimbursement check for phone as income while your phone bill is an expense, and it will wash out. So be sure to do those things, get it all set up, look at the numbers. Does it make sense? Are you zero? Are you in the negative? Are you in the positive? Do you have money left over every month? You should not be having any money left over every month. Every dollar should have a job. It should be assigned somewhere. If you don't want to spend it, it should be going into savings. So if you had $250 left over at the end of the month, for example, it's not just going to sit there. There's no money like floating around unless you've got $250 just sitting on an end table in your room. It has a job. It is somewhere. So let's put it in the correct spot. So if we have $250, we can add that to our savings account. If we're short $250, where can that come from? So then we begin looking at our personal expenses. Maybe we cut down on the number of times that we're going to eat out every month. Maybe we cut down on the amount of coffee that we're drinking. We can look at our grocery budget. Is that getting out of control? A lot of times, and I talk about this sometimes in my short videos, we make multiple trips to the grocery store because we've run out of something and we need to then go get it. Can it wait till the next grocery shopping trip? Because you know every time you go to the grocery store, you're going to pick up something extra. Oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. You can't just run in and get the one thing. Do you absolutely need it before your next grocery shopping trip, or can it hold off until that time? Is it really a necessity, or is it just something that somebody wants? So those are the types of things to look at. If you're really trying to cut your grocery budget down, make sure that there is only the one trip to the grocery store. You are setting your budget, you are going, you are getting what's on your list, and you're coming home. And if you forgot something or somebody else wants something and you do not have the money for it, it's going to have to wait for the next time. So we hope this has been helpful. So get those budgets set up and be prepared to start them in 2022. We are also offering a budgeting for 2022 class coming up. The information is in the comments and the description above. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.